Welcome back, boys and some girls. This video will be quite a quick tips video about Shapez 2. I love the game. Every game I'm in love to, I'm like 100%ing, is a game that I really enjoy like finding tips and things about, and I just throw whatever I find on the internet. This is just gonna be it. Let's start. First, the most important rule you can do in this game is blueprints are your best friend forever. Don't underestimate blueprints. Whenever you're like done and you don't want to do anything anymore, your brain is like fried. You need a break from just like connecting shapes and colors, whatever. Just make blueprints. Make blueprints you think are cool. Try to solve problems. Make things compact so you can add more stuff. Make things, I don't know, just more useful stuff. Use blueprints. They're gonna save you so much time. You can make like one line, then copy paste it as much as you need. Copy paste with the belts, which are kind of annoying to connect in certain structures. Just copy paste as if you're a coder. It's so fun. Tip number two I think is almost as important as tip number one. When you're placing rotators on the ground, in the air, doesn't matter what, make sure you're facing the north side, because shapes do matter. Some shapes, if you make like a green circle, then yeah, it doesn't matter. If you make like a symmetrical shape, it doesn't matter which shape, as long as both colors or whatever touch what you need. But if you need to make like a certain rotation or somewhat, I don't know, something to make a certain shape, make sure you're facing the north side, because otherwise you can make like weird shapes when you reach your final goal. So make sure again you're facing the north side when you're looking at the tiny shapes in the rotator thing. Number three, build compactly. I know it's obvious, yes, build compactly, but yes, try to build it. It will help you in the future, will save you some weird spaghetti factories, which are kind of unavoidable. I don't like to make spaghetti factories, and it happened to me sometimes too. Tip number four, this one could be new to some people, because especially hoarders, I say delete the old stuff you made. If it's a good stuff, save it as a blueprint. If it's not, then just delete it. You need the space. You're probably not going to return to it unless it's like a certain action or something. Again, like a certain blueprint, then save it, like extract top right or whatever to make a certain like square or certain whatever. So don't save it, delete it. You need the space. Obviously after you finish, not before. Number five can save you a lot of pain. When you're following a line of tasks or milestones, whatever, make sure you look at the end. Because if you do some kind of action and then you realize, oh no, I need to paint this whole thing, but you already broken it up, or you did the other thing, you painted it, but then you realize you don't need to paint everything, you just need to paint like half of it, you need to paint one piece of it. Then you might need to first break, then paint, whatever. So many stuff you can do, but just make sure you look at the end so you can actually plan to do what you want to do. Number six is using verticality. Don't underestimate verticality. Belts go up and down crazily good in the game with the pizza delivery things. I don't know how to call it. I just love the up and down, the elevators for the belts, but don't underestimate it. You can save so much space, especially if you're using like the long corridor foundations, just to create like in between factories, not something serious, just like manufacturing a certain shape before you do more with it. Then don't underestimate it. You can shove like 10 of those in one long one. This is how I just a few minutes of messing with it, and that's how I find it out. It can save you a lot of space. Number seven is use platforms appropriately. What I mean by that is don't use a giant size for something that you don't need a giant size for. Let's say you need something very narrow, use a narrow foundation. You need a big one, use a big one. You need a small one, use a small one. Don't use just shapes because you pressed on it, or that's what it is. Just delete it and make a new one if you need, because obviously you need the limit, which I don't see how you're gonna hit the limit pretty soon, but whatever. But you're gonna need the stuff, you're gonna need the spaces. It's gonna make your life much easier, much less painful, because there's only one vortex to hit. So even if you make 20,000 factories around it, you can only have one hole to throw the stuff in. Okay, number eight, efficiency is not that hard to hit. And even if you don't hit efficiency like 100%, you don't get hit like crazy unless you make like a very circular machine which once one thing is blocked, then everything is blocked. But if you make like a line, an assembly line, whatever, then even if it's not 100% efficiency, you're gonna get results. You can just wait, you can get a coffee, you can eat something, you can come back, and the order is done. That's it. Pretty easy and stuff. You get your points or whatever, and you go on with your life. So you don't have to reach efficiency, but it is easy. If you press on the machine and wait a few seconds, you will see your efficiency in percent and how many items go in there per minute. I'm gonna make like a video more like what translated to which, like how many belts is this, how many cutters is that, just, you know, a bit of translation and make it easier. Maybe some designs that could be cool. So if you have something cool, by the way, send it to me. Number 9 is going to be kind of close to the efficiency thing. When you use belts and you spread them to a few machines, make sure you try and put them from the middle and spread it to everyone, right? When you do like an equal number, you're not going to get it because you can't find the middle in that. Only if you place like more spaces in between, whatever. But if you just place two machines one next to each other, you're not going to get like a center, so you can't do that. But if it's an unequal number, then do that. Simple. And the reason why I told you all of that is because the belt will get congested, just everything will be packed up. The belt will lose efficiency to be much slower. Number 10 kind of goes back to the platform just a tiny bit, but delete whatever you don't need. It can save you more space. You can give you more resources if you need. You can delete it, place a mine on it, so you don't have to get like circles from the other end of the map or whatever. So if you don't need it, just delete it. 11, this is going to be about paints, just a tiny bit. Number 1, paints you don't need. Don't like delete the whole line. Just, you know, delete whatever you need. How many like pipes a bit, put them back and keep them around your base because you will need them in the future 100%. So just keep a few of them all around your base. Try to make them full, like 4 pumps to go into each pipe. I mean 4 extractions, 4 times 4. So all the lines for the extraction you can place them, because one line does not carry the amount each pipe carry. So if you look at the pipe can carry 7,200, and each painter, for example, uses 300 milliliter per minute. Everything is per minute, okay? The pipe can carry much more, but the big pipe itself does not, because the line that's once you use the pipe and then you go into the tiny mode, when you actually place the painter in, then that transition does not translate all the power, all the paint into the machine. So you're gonna need 4 if you want to make 4 stations. You can't make like 4 extractors go into the same pipe and then 1 pipe at the other side, and then you just spread it out into 4 again. It's not gonna work. You're gonna need 4 if you want to make 4, 2 if you want to make 2, 3 if you want to make 2. But you can like use 1 pipe for 2. You're just gonna get like 50% efficiency. It's gonna get like, it's gonna run out of paint sometimes, but then it's gonna come back. It's not gonna be very efficient if you make 2 stations, painting stations. When I say painting stations, I mean 4 painters, because it's 120 per minute times 4. For just so you know, okay, painting stations is basically 4 stations. That's what I mean, 4 painters. So keep that in mind. This also works, yes, if you try to just jump between platforms without even like a giant pipe, just like the small, you know, when they, I don't know how to call it, like they just throw the paint across the gap basically. So even that, you need 4 of them. So if you want to transfer between platforms, 1 is not going to be enough. You can't do like a pipe. You have to do 4 pipes going across. I know it's annoying, but that's what I found about it. But that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, you wasted a few minutes. Nothing much, so don't cry. But that's it. Keep yourself safe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.